Hello all MRBers and welcome to another video with me, Mike McRock, and I am one half of the McRock and Bolt Wrestling Review Show. Right now I'm going to deliver to you my review for this week's edition of WWE NXT. It happened on Pi Day 3.14, and if you don't know, that is March the 14th, 2018. I am breaking it down as usual from start to finish. This was a pretty stacked show overall. It clocked in at something like 59 minutes, 56 seconds. Just a few seconds away from a full hour. That's amazing. But just because a show is stacked full of stuff doesn't mean it's good. Well, let's break it down like this. I'm kicking this thing off with the first match that happened on the show. That was Sanity versus Riddick Moss and Tito Sabatelli, and it's a first round match in the Dusty Rhodes Memorial Tag Team Classic. To me, this match did what it needed to do. It was a pretty short match, and I was perfectly fine with it. This match really didn't need to go that long. It was pretty much a match that was by the books. And to me, the best thing about this match was to see all four members of Sanity come out together. Something about that just felt really good. I got chills up and down my spine with the entrance when all four of them came out. It almost felt like they came out for the very first time. It's like their debut, even though they've been around on NXT for a couple of years now. And it was really good to see that because we haven't seen that in quite some time. And it was much needed and well deserved as well. It made this match pop out just a bit more than usual. And I really like the spot where Nikki Cross got involved. And they're playing up to their gimmick, which is something they should do more often. And I like to see more of that kind of stuff as well. And Sanity going over in this match was definitely the right call. Now, as far as how far they advanced in this 10-team tournament classic, to me, they are a lock for the final match. That's for sure on their side. But whoever they face on the other side, whether if it's AOP or whoever wins the match between Heavy Machinery and the Street Profits, which I will get to, I don't know if it should be AOP. Although, I wouldn't mind the thought of AOP taking on Sanity in the final match. It would be cool, but I don't know if that's the smart thing to do. I think there are better options ahead. I will get on into that in just a bit with the match between Heavy Machinery and the Street Profits when I get to it. But the next thing I will talk about is the segment with Tommaso Ciampa. So, Tommaso Ciampa comes out again on this show, and when he comes out, he gets the same treatment from the fans. They're booing him to Kingdom Come. It seems like the crowd was a bit more lively in this segment than last week. Just something about it had a bit more life to it. And it's another silent promo from Tommaso Ciampa, and it was really effective. And the crowd was really buying into the story as well. And Ciampa is he's soaking in the heat. And he's really proven himself so far that he is really good as a heel. He's getting real legit heat that just comes organically from the NXT crowd. That's in short supply on NXT. Usually, when we see a heel on NXT, the fans just can't help but cheer them, like a Pete Dunne or an Adam Cole. I'll get to that as well, but with Tommaso Ciampa, it's real. It's real legit heel heat because he cost the most beloved guy on the show his career. I mean, you just can't help but boo that. And Tommaso Ciampa is really playing off that very well here. And Ciampa's character has become really unhinged at this point as well, and it's building up to something. And we'll see how that will all tie into Gargano coming back eventually. Eventually he has to, because NXT is definitely working a story here. I still hope they wait it out to the next takeover after New Orleans. Don't rush into this too early. You only have 4 weeks left. For the love of God, don't return Johnny Gargano next week or the week after or the week after that. Only to rush into what could be a good storyline here. Again, I will talk about something that takes place in the last segment of the show with the contract signing as well. The next segment, though, on the show was Dakota Kai versus Lacey Evans. This match was pretty quick. It was Dakota Kai getting the roll-up victory and anticlimactic win. To me, this was an F-off match anyway. It just didn't need to be here. It was two women that really don't matter only get to two women that sort of matter, but not really. What happened is that after the match happened, you have Shayna Baszler. She comes out, she's stalking her prey, Dakota Kai. And before she gets a chance to attack her, Ember Moon comes to the rescue. And we get another match. They fight. Baszler is about to break Moon's arm. Dakota Kai for the save. And then Ember Moon hits the Eclipse on Shayna Baszler. Oh boy, here we go. To me, this whole thing felt really staged. And it just didn't have a natural feel about it. Nothing felt right about this segment at all. Nothing felt organic. It was extremely telegraphed. You knew that this would happen here. And you knew Baszler would come out here. And Ember's predictable appearance was obvious. It just was. I wasn't a fan of this at all. Why Shayna Baszler would wait to attack Dakota Kai after her entrance or even during the match, that made no sense to me. And the promo that Ember cut before the two of them fight just didn't convince me enough to get behind their feud at all either. I really don't care for this match happening again at TakeOver New Orleans whatsoever. NXT is just not selling it for me with this one. But I will say this, Shayna Baszler to me is a better heel than Ember Moon is a babyface. And to me, NXT has just completely ruined Ember Moon's character. I mean, even before she was NXT Women's Champion, there were red flags flying everywhere telling me that Ember Moon competing for the championship wasn't the right move at all. I mean, you had better options. You had Nikki Cross. They didn't do it. They had Peyton Royce, the iconic duo. They are nowhere to be seen. There were better options than Ember Moon. I just named two of them. I don't know how this happened. At one point, NXT had some really good characters in their women's division like Sasha Banks, Bayley, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, even Asuka. But it just seems like now this NXT women's division's on life support. And I just don't legit care for this match happening at TakeOver or this rivalry to begin with. This is a lose-lose situation for all parties involved, and NXT should be ashamed for themselves for booking this crap. Anyway, moving on. The next match we get on the show was Street Profits versus Heavy Machinery. It is another first round match in the Dusty Rhodes NXT Tag Team Tournament Classic. This match to me was all kinds of fun. I had a lot of fun with this match. I was smiling from ear to ear. This was good. This was really good. The match had life to it. The match had energy, and the match had characters. You have Heavy Machinery, who are really funny. They're larger than life. They're throwback characters with a modern flair to them. And you have the Street Profits, and while they do have a stereotypical gimmick, because that's what the WWE does, they make the most out of what they're given. They have style, they have pizzazz, and they have charisma that connects to the NXT audience on a certain level. And so does Heavy Machinery. The dynamics of this match were just fantastic. They were off the charts. The one spot that really made this match pop for me was when Montez Ford gave Otis Dozovich that paper cup to drink, and then The way they built that up was amazing. And then Otis takes a sip out of it, and then he gets all wilded up. He starts doing a jig or something. He's building up to something and just flat out clotheslines Montez Ford like he owned him. And it made for a really nice standout moment. And just the match itself just had the word fun written all over it. I really enjoyed it. This was easily the match of the show on NXT. Then we get to the final match, the main event, or whatever you want to call it. It was Pete Dunne versus Adam Cole, baby, for the United Kingdom Championship. This is a match that really had no build to it. It came about backstage, I do believe it was last week, between the two of them, and for some reason, that was enough to warrant a United Kingdom Championship match. Why exactly? Why? I don't know. The only reason why this match took place on NXT was because the show needed a main event. And it was just randomly thrown in there for the sake of throwing it in. Also, because it was heel versus heel, I knew the dynamics of this match would be really weird because they are two guys, even though are heels, get a babyface reaction from the crowd. To me, this match was also put together just for the reactions, and the match to me was really more annoying than anything. The things that really annoyed me about it were the parts close to the end where there was no selling back and forth kicks and the false finishes that didn't need to be here either. No selling kicks back and forth does not make this match awesome, and no, false finishes don't make the match awesome either. The crowd has completely oversaturated and overrated this match to Kingdom Come with the "This is awesome" chants and the "Fight Forever" chants. The match didn't warrant those type of reactions. I just don't feel it did. At least you could say with the Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate match, their first match when they were word chanting and stuff like that, at least there was a story, a backstory. But with this match, it was just completely randomly thrown in just for the sake of throwing it in, like I said. And I don't understand how these people think that this match is awesome, because clearly it's not. It really isn't. To me, this match was just okay, but still really more annoying. And like I said, the NXT crowd has really lowered their standards to this. And the way the match ended with the DQ finish, I'm okay with it because of the lack of the build-up with the match. Anyway, but wouldn't Adam Cole be pissed at Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly for costing him a title match? Now, I know it's not the NXT championship, but still, I would be pissed if my colleagues or my friends or whatever cost me a title match. To me, that made no sense at all. And when Roderick Strong came out to save Pete Dunne, why would Roderick Strong help the guy who he just had a one-on-one match with the United Kingdom Championship? Nothing makes sense to me at all. The match was okay, but really more than anything, really more annoying than anything. I mean, nothing just made me care at all with this match. I like Pete Dunne, I like Adam Cole, but this whole match in itself just fell flat and just, like I said, really annoying. I'm beating a dead horse here when I'm saying the word annoying, but I kind of have to really establish that to get the point across here. Then we get to the last segment on the show. That was the contract signing between Andrade Cien Almas and Aleister Black for the NXT Championship at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. And we didn't get to see Andrade Cien Almas come out here, but we did get his manager, Zelina Vega. The two, her and Aleister Black, have a back and forth here. Aleister Black looking around the ring to see if Andrade was going to come out from underneath the table or something like that. And he's not even acknowledging Zelina there at all. And then he sits down in his usual position and then says, "Now we're on the same level." And I dig it. I thought it was really funny that Aleister Black was poking fun at Zelina's height. At least finally someone mentioned it. And we get the whole thing where Zelina Vega slaps him and she signs the contract. Aleister Black says that he didn't come alone. Candice LeRae comes out and attacks Zelina Vega, showing that the spirit of Johnny Gargano is still alive on NXT. I just had a thought here. Just a thought here. I think instead of having Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa at TakeOver New Orleans, why not have Zelina Vega versus Candice LeRae at TakeOver New Orleans instead? And you could use that match as a catalyst to build up to the match between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. That's the thing NXT should be doing at this point. That match could work if NXT decides to go there. It really does. So overall, this week's show of NXT, to me, had something to it that the past few weeks didn't have. The show had much needed development that brought some life and excitement to get the people ready for the matches and the potential matches to take place at TakeOver New Orleans. You had a solid opener of Sanity looking really good and looking the way they should, and they should do more often. You have a really good solid promo once again from Tommaso Ciampa. The Street Profits and Heavy Machinery match was a really fun, and the contract signing was a good way to tie in a couple of stories in one segment. And it was really effective as well. The only things that didn't make this show outstanding for me was the segment involving the women in the UK Championship match with Pete Dunne and Adam Cole. But the positives to me outweigh the negatives with this show. I'm going to give it 7.5 out of 10. If you saw this week's episode of NXT, what did you think about it? Feel free to leave them here in the comment section below. And you can also hit that subscribe button down below this video as well to become an MRBer on this wrestling review show.